Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Writers Mindscape, the 01 podcast. Hold on. Are we number one writing podcast?
I mean, we're the only writing podcast right now.
But we covered this, but somehow we still lose it.
I haven't been able to talk about anything else.
Okay, good. So we are the number one 01 podcast writing podcast. Wow, I just butchered that one.
We are officially the number one 01 podcast groups writing podcast.
Thank you.
I mean, there's a lot of zeros and ones and writing and podcasting going on in there.
Yeah.
I understand.
It's okay. What you're about to hear is our next session on writing.
Yes.
We're planning out our magic systems for the world. We need to come up with a term for this world.
We will. We're still slowly building our own worlds.
Yeah. We'll refer to it as the Twin Worlds.
Yes.
It will be, for sometimes the bigger picture, we'll still refer to it as the Twin Worlds.
Right.
You know, there's more out there, but just to have something to call it. We'll call it the Twin Worlds. We're going to be developing the magic system for the Twin Worlds. Live, it will be covering the, how many episodes did you count?
So there's about 7 episodes that we're going to be doing a quick brainstorm about before we actually dive into doing them separately.
Yes. So we have a bunch of things we have to cover. We may actually be doing a second session. We'll cover that.
Who knows?
Think how deep is it? Because we don't want these planning sessions to be too long.
Right.
Because talking long is not easy to do.
Yes.
That was a weird way to say that, too.
Anyway.
Only Tim would say that.
All right, Tim. So the first one that we're going to be doing, we're going to be defining what magic is in our world.
Exactly. We want you to know. This will cover what magic is. The next will be to get away from the trend, the tradition of we're explaining what this is. We're actually going to. The next episode will dive immediately into magic in everyday use.
You know how it's being used every single day. I mean, there's so many ways that I can think of to use magic in an everyday setting.
Oh, so can I. The next episode will be continuing to just looking at what magic can be and how to go about it. We're going to dive into Brandon Sanderson's 3 laws.
I like how much you're using him.
I like him because he's a magic system guy.
I know.
And he said he doesn't have other laws that he uses to refine his systems, but these are the 3 ones he has polished and down pat.
Good.
So, and that's the only ones he's released. So we'll dive into those and maybe touch upon a few other ways of using it to craft your magic system.
You can slow down a little bit if you want.
I don't want to.
You are. We're going to be finishing with this little brainstorm session here in 5 minutes.
I'm excited!
Dude, there is no need to be excited about this. When we get onto social systems, that's when the real excitement comes about.
You mean you're going to be trying to wake me up from the boredom?
Nope. No. I mean, you're going to be boring me with all this magic stuff
I don't know
anyway.
what you're talking about. And then after that, we will dive into a debate.
Yes.
It'll be wonder. Should magic be wonderful? Or no, that didn't make no sense.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it is always wonderful. If it should be a mystery,
a sense of wonder or mystery.
I mean, I'm still saying that there shouldn't. There's no mystery left to magic. It's been used so much that it's only a scientific method from now on.
There you go. That's the debate. Should there be a sense of wonder or should it be scientific in nature?
Purely scientific.
We will cover that.
Purely scientific.
Will you shut up?
Nope. Ow!
I didn't want to do that in this podcast, but you left me no choice.
All right.
But we'll talk about that there. We'll then cover on magic and its source.
Yes.
We'll also talk about magic and rules.
There are no rules.
We kind of touch about...
It's like roads in the future. We don't need those.
We talk about a little bit about this in the scientific versus wonder, but we'll actually dive into rules.
Yeah.
In that episode. We will then look at what does magic look like?
You know, physically.
Physically. I mean, when you do magic, is there an external look to it? Example, Harry Potter... the wand and
that dripping spray that they do from their wands.
You had to go that way, didn't you?
It is a dripping spray.
It's not dripping,
especially when it collides with the stream coming out of the other wand.
It's a stream, not
it is so dripping and just spraying things all over the place.
You are terrible. This is supposed to be a kids show.
It's not a kids show.
No, not as much as I swear.
No.
And then the final, we'll look at how many magic systems should you have in your world?
Yeah, do you need 17?
How about 54?
You know,
or 42?
I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, 42. the magic number, the perfect number.
Yeah.
For me, for me, all magic, especially within my world,
Yep.
all my magic is based upon like one rule.
Yep.
So technically, there's one system. It's just different ways of using that system.
And I'm gonna fuck that up.
I know you're gonna just be like, and here's one way, and here's another.
And I'm gonna like, and the base of this is this, and you can't change that because this is like, well, but I only had one rule.
But it's on your world.
No, it's the fabric of magic.
Nope. See, that's the thing. My one rule can still fit within the fabric of magic.
That's good
because I'm amazing.
But so that's what we'll be covering on the there. I don't know why we just covered this.
I called it.
I don't know why we covered this, these episodes when this is going to be launched afterwards.
I know.
What? Great.
You know what? We didn't even need this.
We didn't. We could.
You know what? I could post this on Tuesday.
There you go.
And it'll be just a warm up for the next couple of weeks.
You could edit this into the first episode.
Probably.
There we go. Anyway, after wasting 7 minutes.
All right. You know what? Maybe this isn't going to happen.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
Going forward, after this, you're going to hear a pause, and you'll be listening to us actually engaging with each other about how we're going to define our magics.
Yes.
So enjoy the show. Okay, so Adam, yesterday at work, we kind of talked about this earlier, but
yeah,
we have 4 known magic systems. In this world.
Okay, what are your we're twin world. Okay.
Yes.
What are your 4 known systems? Well, I mean, because you and I we went over this.
Yep. So some of them deal with a lot of it deals with the.
I don't remember everything sometimes.
I know, I don't either. That's why the notebook from our old wrestling thing that we didn't work out with.
I know.
Is our official keep track of this shit.
Okay.
But so it will tie into like some of it deals with the grander scheme of things.
Yes. So what's our first? The
bigger. Let's go with the biggest one.
Okay.
Would be the Elder Being magic system.
Okay.
And that can be more of a mystery. We don't have to really flesh that out right now. It's just that they're powerful and they can adapt the world almost on a reality-based system. I was kind of going with.
Okay,
but they're not necessarily true gods, but they are.
They have tapped into an ability.
Yeah.
That they're able to reshape reality to their will.
In a sense. In a sense, on a grander scale. But they're not gods. They didn't create the universe.
They were there already.
The universe was there, and they came about it. So they're almost a race of beings.
Okay.
That have a great bigger level of power than us.
So basically, they have taken over this solar system universe
in a sense,
and made it their own playground.
In a sense, but they're also tied into the system because a different one. We'll go to that one in a minute. The other one is the natural magic. This will help tie into your world, your magic system for your planet.
Yes.
Is because you want more scientific based. We've covered this.
Right.
So this would be how it could help you tie into that. It's an extra fundamental force of the universe that is linked into every fabric and being of the universe. That if one figured it out, could be on the level of an elder being as well.
Oh, okay.
But it takes lots of knowledge to do. So basically, it's what's woven in, and there's a scientific method it's basically science. Like everything like gravity.
Right.
You can learn that because it's a bigger force than gravity and all those because it's intertwined into gravity, into the weak and strong force, nuclear force, the electromagnetic force. It's tied into everything.
So, I mean, the way I was looking at this system, because this is kind of, as you said, my main system. I've been looking at this as this is the fundamental life of the universe.
Yeah, and that's the
and it's equal. Why am I not remembering this? It's the you can't create something without destroying something else.
Oh, it's the law of thermodynamics.
Right. And because of that, nature works perfectly with this. Because it's like, okay, well, for me to use this spell, I have to have this much energy to use.
Yep.
Okay, well, I could use it from myself, but I'm going to be weak afterwards. I could do that in a pinch if I had to. Yep. Instead, I'm going to use it from this. And that's the method that is taught. Okay. You are taught to use the life force of something. You can use it from the flowers around you, the trees, other people.
Yeah.
You
have to be able to tap into it, though, right?
But what's taught is how to tap into it.
Yeah, okay.
And realizing, and it's taught just, as your everyday, you and I are taught about science.
Yes.
They're like, okay, well, you want to know alchemy? All right, well, you have to use this. You want to learn necromancy? You still use this fundamental law.
Yeah. And actually, the thing when you mentioned alchemy is like, the way I was thinking about you could use alchemy is you don't have to necessarily tap into magic to change it. Certain agreements, like you...
Oh, yeah.
Because magic's woven into everything, it's woven there. So when you combine these things here,
the natural magic just happens.
It happens because it links to, this does this, and this causes this effect.
Yeah.
I don't know.
On my planet, alchemy is the chemistry of every place else.
Yep. And because of the magic, it has a lot of external effects other than like normal chemistry.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking about that when I did that. That was supposed to be my natural magic was going to be mine. And I'd be like, wait, this actually applies more to his.
It works a lot better with mine.
I mean, it can be done on my planet because it's a natural law of everything, but it's going to be more used on yours.
Right.
The other one was...
what's the last one?
A
third.
The third one is going to be radiant magic.
Okay.
Now, this kind of ties in with the Elder Beings magic system, too, because they have this one as well, because why Elder Beings are interlinked with the universe is because, well, they have a limited amount of power.
Yep.
When their Elder power or magic, whatever we want to call it, is gone of their lifespan, or they overuse it, they explode into stars.
So it's a controlled explosion.
Yeah, in a sense, when they die, or their Elder power becomes too much and erupts the rest... They can't keep it in them or whatever. We decide to when we actually develop more cultures and stuff like that and gods, we'll flesh that out then. But whatever happens, they die and erupt, kind of in a controlled explosion. It can destroy things.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, it explodes and forms a star. Exactly how kind of like the stars we have. Hydrogen. It creates elements, all that stuff. But there's a little bit something else in it.
Basically, it helps create the natural magic, but there's a true other magic sitting there.
It helps do that, but it radiates part of light and heat. It also radiates magic. So the closer you are to a star, the more magic there is around them.
So it's a true radiation of magic.
So the further you're away from if you're on a planet that's further away from the star,
you have less of that radiated magic.
So let's put this in context of our solar system.
Okay.
So we would actually have a good source of magic because we're in the Goldilocks zone for life.
Perfect spot.
So we'd have a lot of magic here. Go to Pluto.
Not a lot of magic there.
You have some magic, but you could easily use up in the area pretty fast because, yes, light is still hitting you, but it doesn't mean...
The radiation is taking longer.
Magic that is radiated out is not the same portions of light. It just... It's less there. It can replenish that area, but it will take longer.
Okay.
So it will allow for that.
But that's a magic that very, very, for me anyway, on my planet, very few people recognize exists.
Yeah. This would be more like, I would say, you tie into more elemental.
Okay.
Like fire, ice, manipulating those kind of features. Maybe nature, like in itself, like trees, controlling it. That's what I'm kind of seeing with this kind of magic system.
Okay.
You don't have to really use save spells or anything like that. It's like you learn how to kind of like more like a Last Airbender.
Okay.
In a sense, you don't necessarily have like you're born fire, but you kind of learn it. You can learn which ones. You're not just born that way.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't want to completely steal that system.
It allows for this. The radiant magic allows for elemental usage.
Yeah, and it's also you have to learn different ways to adapt it and use it to do it.
Okay.
And you're pulling in the magic into you to do it, or you're tapping into it to fuel a spell, but it's not a continual tapping unless you're advanced.
Yeah. Those advanced people, man, they're just awesome. All right, what is the fourth of our magics?
That's the one I can't remember because my notes are at home. So
Well-
I forgot that. But there's a hybrid magic system.
Okay.
This is the race of energy beings from my world that exists before that it gets pulled into to be the part of the twin world. So this is going to be... So my world exists because an elder being died in an asteroid belt in a battle.
Oh, okay. It wasn't a natural end.
No, not a natural end. He still had some of the elder magic in it. He had still enough there, but he was kind of killed in a way that he was wounded, and then the other person he was fighting, I haven't developed the whole backstory yet, but he's basically buried in the asteroid belt. Like, all these asteroids are forced onto him, covered him, crushing him, using him because he's weak, and he eventually gets to the point where he does actually naturally die and it kind of erupts, but there's so much covering him and being held down, it actually erupts and creates a planet.
Okay.
And because we know all of his elder magic wasn't used up, it's a source of elder magic, which is one of the reasons why the elder being pulls it in. It's also a source of radiant magic right on there. So my planet is ground zero for radiant magic, so it gets doubled hit.
Oh,
So
that's
it's
pretty cool.
super saturated in this stuff. And that's what kind of creates these energetic beings, because it's too far out. It's basically just misses the edge of the Goldilocks zone. So natural life can't right there, so it's kind of a cold, rocky planet. These energy beings form of a mixture of the radiant and elder god magic,
That's cool.
which is kind of why they rip apart when the elder being pulls it in.
The new elder being that draws the two planets together.
He kind of sends a ripple through, destroying a lot of them. Their essence the energy of them exists, but the beings are dead.
Okay.
Some absorb them to kind of protect
Just be
it.
like, we gotta go hive mind, guys.
Yep, and this is going to be where we kind of had a joke about this when we were talking outside a few weeks ago. Or like,
Maybe.
dude, you don't want to meet angels. Those guys are douchebags.
Yeah.
The original idea was to be on like a far different planet, like on a different side.
Yep.
But no, they're on my planet.
Oh.
The angels are what are called angels are the beings that absorbed enough of these where they made an ultra change.
Okay.
Because one of the things we were talking about is one of my beings made it to yours, like a few
Yes.
of them.
A few of them.
But then they kind
Much in the same way that a few of my humanoid people have made it onto your planet.
yeah. But the elder being did not teleport these beings there.
Okay.
Because they alter differently, so they can fly across and survive what normal mortals wouldn't, and kind of land there.
Okay.
So like when we talked about the one guy that doesn't actually change or become mortal and all that,
Yeah.
he actually bears to leave the planet. I figured, why wouldn't he return to his home planet? But he'd go to all these other planets first?
Because he thinks his home planet's full of assholes.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He goes back, he meets angels, that they would be called angels, these new races, and we'll dive more into
The
those
evolution of his own race.
because there are some of the normal race still left,
All right.
but these are the ones that really got a lot of double juicing of the
Oh,
power.
okay.
Left. He met them. He's like, wow, they're douchebags. I'm going back to this planet.
Yeah.
There's not enough people over here.
All right. So that's
Yeah. We'll
our
have
magic.
I will have to look at the my list. I can't believe I left it.
I can't believe you left your notes at home.
It was on my wallet was on top of the paper.
Oh, for
So how
crying
did I
out
forget
loud.
that? I don't know. I'll have to. I will do it through a podcast if we do a second shoot.
Yeah.
A second planning session. we will
And a
do
little
it there.
tap into our world again.
Yeah, we can do it there, but we'll get the fourth one known.
Yeah.
For that. But that's the four systems for now, and that's, I say that
And how we've defined magic on our own planet.
But also the one thing going back to radiant magic.
Yeah.
It's also how it adapts on the planet in general too.
Well, because I know for me, I'm looking at radiant as it mixes with natural magic.
In a sense, it does because
Or whatever's already there.
yes, but it also can take different forms on different planets. It's really
Right.
based on the star itself. So whatever the star you want the star. So if people were creating their own worlds in
Yep.
this world, they didn't want to deal with our worlds, but they wanted
Yeah.
to kind of their own, a different star system. They could technically have their own magic systems through the radiant magic system because it's how the elder gods, the elder beings,
their power was
Yep.
originally and how it translates
Into
to a new race of beings.
Yeah, exactly. So they can kind of allows this opening to create their own systems on these planets in a different star system. But once you create a star system, it's kind of locked to those star systems.
It does become a rule.
Yeah. So for us, if they did it, because we don't cover, not yet at least,
Nope, not yet.
if there's any other planets in the Goldilocks zone. So let's say there
You know-
is. Let's say that this, for example, this is not canon.
Nope.
Not yet. We may come up with it.
Hey, it could be.
Yeah,
Who knows?
someday, maybe. Part of these planning sessions will do it, but
Yeah.
who knows? But if there was one, they would still have to use elemental-based magic for the radiant system.
Okay.
But because on my planet, and with these race of beings, it's kind of different.
It's a little wibbly wobbly.
It's different because it's more powerful on my planet because it's a
Because
source.
you have you have
and
two sources of the same type of magic.
yeah, and the hybrid version is going to be the Elder God and Radiant kind of intertwining. With those beings, but also with the race of people who were teleported over because they were going to die, and the Elder being felt somewhat compassionate.
He's just like, I'm gonna save you guys, move you over there.
There you go. I don't want. You're closer to that planet. You're going on that planet.
Yeah.
Is there'll be an altercation on them, and they will kind of be linked with Elder God magic in a way, in a different form than Elder. I don't know why I keep calling them Elder Gods. We've been saying Elder Beings. Right?
Yes. I even wrote down elder being.
Yeah, so I gotta stop saying Elder Gods. Elder Beings, it'll be different than how but it will interlock with the Radiant system. So it can almost be, maybe in the future it will be a complete set fifth
It
magic
could be.
system, but for right now it's not.
Okay.
For that. I had a question for you because you had a more scientific method.
What?
How many actual spin-offs, let's call them?
I don't know just yet.
What do you know right now?
So my specific ones are that I know of is alchemy.
Yep.
Basically, the one of them is voodoo,
Okay.
and the other one is necromancy.
Okay.
And voodoo is
Different.
totally separate.
Okay.
Then, everyone keeps thinking voodoo is zombies and all that
Yeah.
stuff. It's not.
No, voodoo.
It's a very religious system.
I've also saw voodoo's more as controlling someone who's already kind of taking or having bad things happen.
Nope, not in my system at all.
Oh no, I'm saying in general when you think voodoo.
Oh yeah, no. For me, mine is purely voodoo is. I keep using the word voodoo. It's a religious based magic system.
Okay, you're just kind of using the word voodoo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where it's there are ceremonies and
Kind of more of a ritual
Yeah.
system.
there's alchemy, which is very, very, very scientific. These are the rules. You stick to the rules. You don't go outside of this.
You have to. If you mix this plant with this chemical,
there will be this reaction.
Yeah.
It's that type of thing. You open this portal, you have to use these elements or these ingredients to make it a reality. It doesn't matter what the ingredients are.
Yeah.
One of them can be a life force. One of them can be a person.
But you also
stuff
have a
like
system that you can use your life force to open a portal as well.
Right.
Okay.
And then there's necromancy, which truly is using the dead.
Okay.
That's its base. Either you're using them to raise them as an army, or you're using them as ingredients. It's that type of thing.
Okay.
and it's a very dark magic. Basically, I have religious magic, which is white magic, necromancy, which is black magic, and alchemy, which is kind of a gray. It just sits in the middle. It's not good. It's not bad. And there's still good in necromancy. There's still bad in religious.
So you don't have a traditional. So would voodoo be more the kind of like the actual spells?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It could still be, a very much it's only based in rituals.
Okay.
While alchemy is just like, okay, well, I can use that ritual with these other ingredients and create this thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
What you also had one where like the control the champions.
Yes, that's a completely that taps into elder being magic.
Okay.
Or
that's right. I forgot
the radiant magic.
That would actually might be an interesting way to tap into radiant magic.
Yeah. Is that there's these champions
Yep.
who through a token are used by somebody.
Oh, what would be kind of interesting if
and champions only are created due to this radiant magic.
What would really be interesting if because radiant magic has to focus more on elemental base. What if you based it on?
Well, that's what the token is. It's an element.
Oh no, I'm talking about like fire, earth.
Yeah.
To control like that. But I'm thinking like, what if you took the elder being magic?
Okay.
In a sense, and used it as to form the champions. But the radiant magic was ties
them to a token.
Token will make like a jewel within the token that's infused with the radiant magic system.
Yeah.
Magic that gives them an actual elemental twist to it.
Cool.
So like each champion can have its own elemental base power.
Oh, dude, I like that. Thank you for giving a twist on basically a separate fourth version of magic.
Yeah.
There's no equal. You don't have to spend something to get something in that one, because it's basically a closed loop.
Yeah. So when if the jewel runs out of the charged radiance, it can't do that special ability anymore.
Well, the way I look at it, it won't be able to do that special ability, and the only way it can lose its charge is for radiant magic to die.
Well, no. See, the thing. My main thing is like before the jewel,
radiant magic can't die though.
Oh no! The idea I was thinking like with the jewel was before it gets put into the token, that jewel is like soaked into maybe a hyper chamber that focuses radiant energy. So what you do is kind of like it has a limit it can drain, but you then would take it and recharge it. So yes, I mean, overall it can never die because unless the sun goes out. Right. But in a battle, you can overuse all the energy.
You can use all that's in there, and it will take time. Much like, as something that uses the sun for power, Superman. He needs to recharge every once in a while in a big fight.
Yes.
That's basically what those tokens are going to be. Is that they can... It still takes a big fight to pull of them up.
Because it's a hyper chamber or something like that really... And it's... Not just like an hour or so.
No, I mean, no. And then that jewel permanently from now on continues to recharge.
It can pull naturally through it because there's energy coming there. But to really fully recharge, if it runs out, you have to put it back in like the chamber to hyper focus it or something like that.
Maybe those chambers may or may not exist anymore.
Exactly.
Because I mean, it's been 4,000 years on my planet since the Cataclysm, and these champions were created pre-Cataclysm.
Yes. Well, that's what I was talking more pre-Cataclysm ideas.
Oh yeah, that they were used as major soldiers, as turning points in wars prior to that.
Yep.
But post it's just like, oh, I found this cool little fidget spinner.
Yeah.
You spin it, and a 14-year-old kid shows up with 17 fidget spinners, and he's like, "What's up, bro?" And you're like, "Oh shit, you're a champion. You're the worst one ever." And he's like, "Bro, not cool, bro. I'm going to tell my mom on you."
So, can you define what champions are? Is that the person who actually holds the token, or is it just someone...
No.
So
it's a life force that has been tied to that token.
Okay, because I'm confused by what you're talking about champions.
Okay.
The way I'm seeing it...
So at one point...
Let me explain how I've been seeing it so you can see what...
Yeah.
So you can figure out what the miscommunication is. I'm actually seeing like you have a champion, which is a separate thing, and the person who holds the token controls that.
Yes.
So that's what you're actually
Right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm thinking when you just had that example, like I have 15 of these. Oh, you're a champion. I'm like, wait. There's a person who holds the token, the champion, or the person who holds the token controls the champion?
The person who holds the token or is in possession of the token controls the champion.
Now, describe what just a basic general of a champion could be.
As something that you will recognize very early on, it would be like Genghis Khan.
Okay.
So, somebody from history that you're just like, wow, okay, that's cool. At one point in the prehistory of my world, or pre-cataclysm, these champions, because they fought for their kings or their country or whatever, at one point decided to become immortal.
Oh, okay.
And they tied their life force to a token.
Okay, and using the elder magic, like
using the radiant magic.
Radiant or elder being? It'd be the elder being.
Elder being magic to tie their life force to the token.
Okay.
Now the token is charged with the radiant light, so they permanently become immortal. But when the cataclysm happened, or once their mortal body died, their life force just goes back to the token.
Okay.
And whoever controls the token can call upon them.
Okay.
The longer that they're out, the longer that they're fighting, the longer that they use whatever it is their special ability was when they were alive, it uses up that radiant magic.
Okay.
Once that radiant magic is used up, it is just their life force. So they don't want to have that radiant magic actually reach zero.
Yes.
You can be like, much like your phone, you want to start recharging it when it hits 10%. You're like, ooh, we got to recharge, guys.
Yeah.
So that's how it works.
Okay,
so a champion can die.
See, I was seeing it more as almost like these giant statue type things.
Nope. It's a humanoid.
Good, because I'm going to use that in my world.
It's pretty cool.
Because we have people from your world.
So why can't a token come over?
Not necessarily a token come over. Why can't they create their tokens there?
Why not?
Because things were changed, but the beings that come over are altered in different ways on that planet. So they're from your planet originally. Yes. But they're enough different that they kind of make their own thing.
And it's been 4,000 years.
Yeah. So I'm going to use a similar token system, but it may be I'll have to flesh it out more later.
Yeah.
But there'll be their champions are going to be like giant statues.
Ooh. Almost not. Is the word I'm looking for golem?
Kind of. Golem is
where they're an inanimate object that was brought to life.
Yeah. I think it might be a combination of
clay creature.
Yeah. It's going to be more of a combination of they would being of powerful history links their life force in two ways. Their life force goes into the statue, and embodying that. Actually, their soul goes into the statue. Their life force, which is linked to the soul, is tied to the token.
I like that.
And therefore, there. And again, if the statue is destroyed, their life force and soul would go into the token, and then because it's a different system, they'd have to then relink it to a new statue.
I like that. So technically, your champions are truly immortal, while mine can die.
They can die, but if in the process of the battle before they're getting destroyed, like their physical body that the soul's in is just completely destroyed and be set there, and they use up their same thing. They can die, but it's a lot harder.
Right.
But also to add a little more, even more twist to this.
Yes.
Well, that jewel in there that gives them a special ability is going to be there. They're also going to have just separate jewels in the statue themselves, allowing them to have more abilities.
I like your system. I like that way of going, hey, there's this, but it's going to be a little different.
Yep. Because I can't honestly focus on my magic system in this session, because that's the one that I forgot. Other than the hybrid version one, which is going to be, it's very limited. Mm-hmm. So I actually think we should do a second session, because we focus more on yours after we flesh out this out. We can do another session later on. We'll flesh out the hybrid session and The
Yeah,
radiant system
in
applies
your
to both.
world a little bit more.
Yeah, because the radiant system can apply to both in different ways.
Right.
Both
It's the way it's absorbed.
Yeah, and used, but it's definitely elemental based for us.
Right.
And then we can do. I can flesh out my hybrid system and the actual force system next session.
All right.
But yeah, that's what's a kind of cool thing.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
I don't really have anything else to add to this right now.
Where's the list of episodes? Just so we can.
I can't bring that up right now. I'm
got
sorry.
It. I got it. Define magic. We already did that. We kind of did that.
Yeah.
Can you just really, since we're on the topic, describe how this your magic system would be used a little bit more in everyday use?
Oh, well, that's where alchemy is.
Okay.
Alchemy is basically your elementary school through high school.
Yep.
When you go into college, you then decide on your specialty.
Okay.
You can lean more towards dark magic. You can lean more towards light magic. Some people are just like, I'm just going to go work in a factory, and all they need is just the basic alchemy style.
High school base.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, that's what I want to know.
I mean, there's also going to be people who purposely use it to enhance their everyday, the way that they do everything in an everyday magic or at everyday chores.
Okay. Oh, no, yeah. I'm just going through the system. Okay. Rules. We're not going to dive into the rules. That would take way too long.
Yeah,
and
especially for our world.
And also, we don't have them all crafted.
No. No.
That'll become later. We can do that as we go and figure that stuff out. But that's fine. Before we go finish this really quickly, what would you say the main rules were, just so we can get them?
For me, it's the equal. Oh, why am I not?
I know law. I'm just gonna write law of
thermal.
thermal.
Because it's you can't get something without giving something else up. That for me is my main rule. Because you can't create something out of nothing.
I'm gonna say radiance is based on star.
Okay.
Dash.
Because once again, there's you're having your power source as the star for radiant.
Yep. And then I just put radiance based on star, but then dash elemental for us.
Right. Natural is literally life force.
And I know a lot of people think there's only earth, fire, wind, water.
Nickel.
No, I'm not. That's what I'm talking. When I talk about elementals, I'm talking about that kind of elemental. I'm not talking about the actual in the ground type elemental.
Oh, okay.
But here's the thing: if you go look at Naruto, how they only have 5 base, but when you combine the two, they create
something else.
Same thing can happen with us.
Okay.
So it would be
I like that
similar
idea.
System. So you have the 5 base ones, but then you have these other ones you can also primary in as well, which is the same thing that they kind of do with Last Airbender series, or if they kind of expand on it. Earth bending becomes metal bending.
Yes, which Toph figures out in 12 seconds, and she's the only one to have ever figured it out.
Yep, she's the first. But they actually expand into Legend of Korra.
Right. Because she's able to teach it.
Yep. And they actually develop lava bending in Legend of Korra.
Because do they still have lightning bending?
Yes, they do. Which
was in Avatar the most difficult thing for a firebender to figure out.
Yeah. And it was actually but it's more common in Legend of Korra because more people can figure it out.
All right.
And whereas water is blood bending.
Yep.
It's maybe technically possible in the radiant system because it's water.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of what was, and we already kind of covered the 4 base for them. But there's other ones in Naruto we'll talk about too. So just kind of get those down. So the elemental, Elder God, we're going to develop that a little more as we get to God levels and stuff like that.
Yes.
Oh, that's what it was.
What?
I think it was gods, and I quote, unquote. But we'll deal with that later.
Yeah.
I think there might be another one in there, but anyway, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
We'll still do it, even if I find out that it was gods.
Yeah.
Was the other system that I couldn't remember.
Okay.
If it was, we'll still do a second session focusing on my systems for going there.
Yeah.
All right.
No.
And there, we'll do the outro. Cut here, and into next will be our outro. Count to 5, and we'll do an outro. A quick outro.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the first planning session. As you can listen to, we are going to be doing a second magic planning session. So that will probably be posted the next week after this one is posted. So you can listen. So you now know there will be 2.
Okay.
Let us know your thoughts and comments down below. Hit that alert so you know when all videos or podcasts go up for the 01 podcast group.
Yes.
Make sure you hit join the notification squad.
Yeah, you always got to get notified, bro.
Yeah, you want to get notified. And tell us down in the comment section what you thought of the magic systems and any ideas you have.
Please just leave a comment.
Yeah, having a comment would be nice.
I'd like one every once in a while.
So, and give us a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Other than that, have a good day.
See ya.